This is Spotlight Omaha. Spotlight Omaha is a local podcast that highlights local businesses and influential movers and shakers in the Omaha business community. Spotlight Omaha is brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. Now, from the Pyramid Contractor Studios, the host of Spotlight Omaha, Jimmy Allen.
Welcome into the Spotlight Omaha podcast, where we take you around the city of Omaha, introduce you to local business owners, influential figures, and people who are making an impact on our community. We are brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. If your company needs help with social media marketing or online advertising, Pixel Fire Marketing can put you at the top of search engine optimization and manage your social media content for you. Joining us inside the Pyramid Contractor Studio today is Elvin Torres, our friend from Farrell's Gym and Body Scoping. Thanks for being here, man. We appreciate it.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me.
Tell us exactly what Farrell's is and how you're making people in Omaha healthier.
Yeah, so Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping. We are a fitness studio that specializes in helping people feel better naked. And what I mean by that is helping people feel good in their own skin.
We're not going to do that here on the podcast today.
No. But
not that kind of podcast.
Yeah, but we help people feel better in their own skin by helping them get healthy, not just weight loss, but total transformation. And so helping them get strong, helping them dial in their nutritional needs, helping them with accountability, community, the whole thing.
Walk me through the journey portion of it, because I can't imagine it's, hey, here's some wraps, here's some gloves, go punch that bag. We'll see you in 10 weeks. How are you helping people not only be accountable for themselves, but make sure that you're taking a little bit of hand holding, taking them on that journey, making sure they're doing the right things to make the process work?
Yeah. You know, we're known as the kickboxing gym, as the fitness kickboxing gym. Because that's the sexy, that's the fun, that's the, you feel really great after a kickboxing class, but it's much more than that, so we do cardio kickboxing for sure. But we also do strength training. So 3 days a week is cardio kickboxing, 3 days a week is strength training, total body strength training. And then we do nutrition. We do nutrition coaching and nutrition guides, customized macros, those kinds of things. And then we also do accountability. And so all those things together, those pillars put together, really are what create our program. And then we have expert coaches who are instructors, and they really come alongside our members and not just tell them what to do, but actually live it out with them and for them. Sometimes, before anybody believes that they can change, we have to believe it for them. Sometimes. Yeah. And so
I want to hit on that for a second, because the like part of it, I think everybody that's tried a gym journey or a weight loss journey or a fitness journey, at least everybody's failed once. What is the biggest hurdle that most people have? Or better question, what is the time frame in which people usually hit that wall through the 10-week journey where you've got to maybe push them along a little further?
Yeah, if I can go back a little bit and kind of just when the process that people come in, when they come in, they don't just come in and are left to themselves. We kind of give them a plan. Here's what's going to happen. Here's over the next 10 weeks, here's what you can expect. Here's how it's going to go. And then we actually do milestone testing and those kinds of things in the beginning, middle, and end, and really kind of walk them through that. But at the end of the day, everybody's their own person, and how much you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. And so you can provide the right plan, the right coaching, the right atmosphere, all the things. But you yourself are the one that's going to have to put the one step in front of the other, that kind of thing. And I think that is, to some degree, the biggest hurdle is getting started. People, and a lot of things, the shame factor is very real.
Sure.
Maybe you were successful in your fitness journey when you were in your 20s. Now you're in your 30s or 40s, and
is that more difficult?
Comparing yourself to what you were 10 years ago, 20 years ago, or comparing yourself to other people. Those things are the hard parts, getting them started. The other difficulty is, or the other challenge is, our signature program is the 10-week total transformation challenge. Yep. That's the signature program. But that's not the only thing we offer. We have other plans, other programs, those kinds of things. But the 10-week challenge, it's a 10-week journey.
Yeah.
It's a 10-week journey. And
Doesn't seem like a lot till you're in it, right?
Well, till you're in it, and it's it's not a sprint.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of it's long enough to see real change happen, but it's short enough that it's doable for most people.
Is it fair to say that most people, they come in after 2 or 3 days, they don't start to see results? It's tough. It is hard. It's a workout. You're pushing your body, you're tearing muscles, you're building new muscles. Yeah. And after that third, fourth day where they're not getting to that milestone yet, it's a little bit of a struggle for them to keep going.
Yeah, we see attrition or people where they disappear mostly in the first week and then after week 5. And the reason for that is that week 1 for a lot of people, this is the most structured and disciplined exercise regimen that they've ever done in their life. And so they come in and they're coming in 6 days a week. Every day they're working a nutrition plan. And while it's not rocket science, if you've never experienced that before, it can seem daunting sometimes. And so that's why we provide an accountability coach. That's why we provide all these different opportunities for people to not do it alone. Because we think that if you're going to do this, doing it alone sucks.
Yeah.
Doing it alone sucks. And so, but then after, there is this perception, and you have out there on social media, lose 20 pounds and in this amount of time or this amount of time. It's like, that's not reality. And so we try to give people sustainable, give them a plan that's sustainable and that's realistic for them. And so that in 5 weeks, here's what's realistic for you to, if you work this program. Can you lose 20, 30 pounds in 5 weeks? Sure. But what's more realistic is this, and here's what's sustainable, so that we're not just giving you something for the next 5 or 10 weeks. We're trying to give you tools so that you can live healthy and successful for your life, for the rest of your life.
Is it fair to say that the gym selfie may be the worst thing that's ever happened to the fitness industry? Because people just see somebody with their shirt off and flexing, and they're at the gym. That's all they see of their fitness journey. They don't see the hard work that goes into it.
Yeah.
The sets or the healthy eating that's helped them get to that portion.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd go as far as to say it's the worst thing that's ever happened. Because I think that at least it puts the fitness, the journey out there, and people are able to see it and experience it. But I do think that, comparison is the thief of joy, and when people, they put that selfie out there of them flexing in the bathroom or doing these different things. And they're trying to show, like, I got, the triceps or the biceps or their abs and those things. And then, but they're not showing all the hard work. They're not showing
the 50 crunches they just repped.
Right. Yeah. Or the nutrition, because the reality is that most of the work there is not done in the gym.
You can't outwork a bad diet.
You can't outwork bad nutrition. My friend Matt Showalter, he's a nutritionist, and he says you can't expect to have 18 hours of intestinal debauchery and not have consequences.
I love that.
And then I was like, "Ooh, that stung." So I think that's and just the reality, and helping people understand that, holding them accountable to it, but doing it in a way that is gracious. One of my core values is accountability with grace. And so that that we're not gonna coddle you, but we're also gonna encourage you and try to inspire you to take the next best step for yourself and get 1% better every day. But part of that is giving you truth.
Well, if telling people what they wanted to hear worked, they wouldn't be coming to see you anyway, right?
Exactly.
It's summertime. We talked about looking good naked. Everybody wants to look good in a swimsuit.
Feel good naked.
Yeah,
feel good
naked, look good naked. They also want to feel good in a swimsuit too. What is the Summer Strong Challenge?
Yeah, the Summer Strong Challenge is our 10-week transformation challenge, and so it's just kind of dialed in for the summer months. So we just wrapped up our spring challenge, which really gets you ready for the summer.
Right.
And the summer strong challenge is staying strong in the summer and preparing yourself for the fall physically. And so it's a 10-week program: kickboxing, strength training, nutrition, accountability, and community testing, all the things.
We're catching up with Elvin Torres of Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping here on the Spotlight Omaha podcast, brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing and Pyramided Contractors. We talked about it a little bit there. GLP-1 is all the rage right now, and people are talking about the stuff that we heard growing up, lose 60 pounds in 4 days is kind of somewhat becoming a reality. But Farrell's isn't necessarily just about weight loss. It's about strengthening the body too. Why is there such an emphasis on, hey, we're gonna make you feel good naked, but we're also gonna make sure the strength that you had or want to gain comes along the way as well? Why is that so important?
Well, I think that even from its founding, Lance Farrell, the man who founded Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, like he didn't want people to just lose weight. He wanted people to live with power and purpose, you know. And if you're going to do that, that means that you need the physical ability to be able to do the things that are most important. And the most important thing is not the selfie. It's not what you look like in the mirror. It's being able to, pick your kids up, to be able to pick your grandkids up, to be able to do the physical things with the people that you love, and so many people in our country are obese, unhealthy. And I don't say these things as a shame thing. It's to shame anybody. It's just reality.
Yeah.
And I don't think it has to be that way. I think that we can be a people who are physically strong and physically healthy, so that we can live longer and have a great quality of life. You know, I heard this one, I can't remember who the podcaster was. I was driving and she was speaking, and she was like a doctor of longevity, one of those holistic fields, naturopath kind of fields. And she said that there's data that shows that the greatest cause of like mortality and morbidity, comorbidities, is the inability to catch yourself when falling.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that when you're older, a lot of people fall down, and it's because they either don't have the mobility, flexibility to be able to catch themselves, or when they do, they don't have the strength and they tear things, or they don't have the bone density. And so they break things when they fall, or when they fall, they don't have the grip strength to pick themselves back up. Right. And so I'm 46 years old. Sometimes my body just hurts waking up. You know what I'm saying? Like
36.
Yeah, dude, my hamstring hurts. What'd you do? I slept.
Yeah.
That's what I did. You know,
took a nap by accident.
Yeah, I took a nap, and now my back is out, and that's just the reality. And so what we're trying to help people do and accomplish is, the abs are nice. Yeah, the being able to fit into those pants is great, but that's just the icing on the cake.
Walking up the stairs without it hurting is probably the best part.
Or being able to walk up the steps without getting winded.
Sure.
Or without being able to tie your shoes without going, doing that, and being able to have a life that you enjoy living, and to being able to feel good in your own skin again.
You have an entire webpage dedicated to why Farrell's works. Sum it up for us. What is Farrell's extreme body shaping work?
Yeah, because I think that we have everything you need. We have the expert guides, we have the plan, the coaching, the accountability, and we have a community that is second to none. That we have people who, every single one of our instructors are people who've been through our program. Every single one of our staff are people who've been there, done that. They know exactly what it's like. It is. Why? Because I don't want a hired gun. I don't want somebody who just does this because they're going to earn a few bucks, or because they want free access to the gym, that kind of thing. I want somebody who has experienced this and has experienced a transformation themselves, or in the middle of it, even
because they're passionate about it.
And so when somebody comes in, they can actually share their own personal story, And we talked about this earlier. I follow a lot of fitness influencers on social media. I love it. I learn a lot from them, and I get tips and tricks and recipes and everything, all those kinds of things from them. But I think the challenge with that is that we often get the impression that that's what I need to look like, and that's the way I need to live.
Ooh, good point.
And the reality is that a lot of these men and women, fitness professionals, they're spending the best hours of their day thinking about food, thinking about fitness, thinking about all those things. And it's like, no, like the best hours of your day should not be spent thinking about the hour or 45 minutes that you need to spend in the.
Well, that's not the reality for most people.
Right. It's not. Yeah. It's not. I want you thinking about the things you're going to do with your family, things you're going to do with your friends, the activities you're going to be able to do. And what we are is a resource, a tool, a community that empowers you and enables you, equips you to be able to live your life to the fullest. And so we're not just about weight loss. We're about transformation so you can experience freedom in your life.
I want to go back to your staff for a minute. On the Vista site says there's 23 people, but I noticed there's different levels of trainer. How do you earn those different levels and get to get to a level 3 trainer?
Yeah. So, it starts with a trainee.
Sure.
And that's somebody who the staff have identified as they will say, hey, Susie, she's dedicated. She's been showing up. We see her not just having results, but her commitment, to her own health. And we also see that she's a role model for others. On top of that, we see that she has great technique, right? That
doing it correctly.
She's doing it correctly.
Yeah.
She has that ability. And so then we just approach them and ask them if they've ever thought about it. And then we put them through a training program where it's just mentorship. It's just one of our most seasoned instructors just kind of walks alongside them, and trains them up over the next several months. And then we give them opportunities to be able to slowly, and over the next year, they're a trainee. And then after the trainee phase, they are able to test to become a level 1 instructor. And then the level 1 instructor has certain opportunities that they can do certain things. But then the level 2 instructor is somebody who has shown not just experience, they have 2 years under their belt. They have been able to test consistently, not just physically, but their commitment to the program, all the things, so that they are not just an instructor up there with a microphone, but they're a role model. Does that make sense?
Doing things off the mats.
They're living it.
That are working.
They're living it. And then the level 3 instructor is our top level.
Mm-hmm.
And these are our trainer of trainers. These are the men and women who are, they've exemplified it. And now every single one of these men and women are people.
Yeah.
And we all have our ups and our downs, and so every single one of our instructors have.
There's cheat days for a reason too.
Right? Yeah. And so, but and every single one of them have, we just did an instructor challenge where it was just the instructors, and they've seen the results in their own lives.
Is it fair to say that 90% of those people are probably pretty competitive too?
Yeah, I would say I don't know if I'd say 90, but a majority of them are pretty competitive. Yeah,
I can't help but notice, and we were, spoiler alert, we had a little bit of technical difficulties this morning, so we spent some time chatting before we hit record. Anytime you talk about people, specifically people that you work with or work for you, you light up, you smile, and you're passionate about it. Why is it a big deal for you to not only help people become more fit, but help people become successful too?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think a core value of mine is community. And something that I'm passionate about is joy and freedom. And I think that joy and freedom are only realized when it's in the context of sharing it with other people.
Where does that come from for you?
Well, where does that come from for me?
The sense of community. Why is that a big deal for you?
That's a great question. I think for me, I hate being alone.
Okay.
I hate being alone. I think my background, my history is, I grew up, I was born in Puerto Rico, grew up in New York City.
You're never alone in New York.
Never alone, but you are,
Yeah.
you are. And, single mom, Lower East Side Manhattan in the 80s and early 90s.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of moments in my life where I felt isolated, I felt alone, and then when I experienced real community, and I love my family. My mom did the best she could. My brother and I are best friends.
Sure.
All things, but being able to have a community outside of that, outside of my family, who is for me, is with me, wants more for me than sometimes I want for myself. Doing those things have inspired me, have encouraged me. I was a pastor for a long time.
Oh, very cool.
Church planter and pastoring a couple churches, and then seeing that in my own life, but also seeing other people experience community for the first time, where they were an outsider, now they're an insider. Where they were excluded, now they're included. Experiencing that has a real transformation in people's lives. It did for me. And I think that is true for other people, for people. And so one of the things I enjoy most is creating a space, like when I have my staff, the La Vista staff, we just did an outing at Smash Park and did a pickleball tourney. And one of my favorite things is just watching them have a good time. It's just sitting back and just watching them enjoy themselves. That's incredible. And
Lower East Side of Manhattan isn't exactly right next door to Omaha. What brought you to Omaha?
A plane.
Okay. Why was Omaha the destination for you?
So I got into a ton of trouble as a kid. And so when I was in high school, I sold heroin to an undercover cop.
Oh.
Not a good idea. They don't like that.
Yeah, it's slightly frowned upon.
And anyway, I had been in a lot of trouble and ended up having to do a little bit of time.
Okay.
And just by God's grace, I was able to serve my 1.5 years, my 18-month sentence at Boys Town here in Omaha.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep. And so then in August of 1995, I landed at Boys Town. And
it's maybe a weird way to phrase this, but best thing that ever happened to you?
Yeah, I would say my wife is the best thing that ever happened to me.
Fair enough. Sure.
Happened to me. But my wife is the best thing that ever happened to me. But
her name is
Rebecca.
Shout out to Rebecca.
Yeah. And and so it transformed my life dramatically. And so I have a great affinity for Boys Town. My time there, my experience there was great. Some of the people that I'm closest to in the whole world, I met there, and
my best friend's a former family teacher.
Yeah.
I've got an affinity for Boys Town myself.
Yeah. And so, but that's how I landed here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to college at Kearney, UNK, met my wife there. We lived there for about 9 years. Then we moved to Chicago together. I was with an outreach ministry called Young Life, student outreach ministry. And then I caught the church planting bug. And then I ended up back here in Omaha. And then we ended up planting a church out of Christ Community Church. So they were super generous and gracious with us and learned a lot there. And then, through the years, and then I had a burnout. Where I just I burned out emotionally, physically. I burned out in almost every way. And then when I stepped away from ministry completely, I went into real estate. And then while I was at the gym working out at Farrell's in Bellevue, the opportunity presented itself that the studio was struggling post-COVID.
Yeah.
And an opportunity presented itself for me. And I just started digging in. I never thought I'd own a fitness studio.
Sure.
And then long story short, I ended up being able to become the majority partner at that studio. And then a little less than a year later, opportunity presented itself to purchase La Vista. And then we did that. And so we were able to turn Bellevue around pretty, within 90 days, 3 months. And La Vista, we're just over 90 days in right now. And we're getting there. We're getting there little by little.
And we're catching up with Elvin Torres, the owner of, as you just heard, the Bellevue and La Vista locations for Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping here on the Spotlight Omaha podcast, brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing and Pyramid Contractors. I want to talk about the Farrell's aspect of it. You just mentioned, obviously, multiple locations in the Omaha area. The thing that keeps coming up in this room is the franchise model and having somebody to bounce things off of, what's working, what's not working for you. You just mentioned your journey to taking over your 2 gyms, but how much was there an appeal of, I have people I can ask questions to about this along the way as well?
I think that was a significant factor for me. I mean, I was familiar with Farrell's since I've been a member since 2012.
It's a very noticeable brand.
I'm sorry?
It's a very noticeable brand.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. And so, I mean, we have four studios here in the Omaha area, 2 in Lincoln, about 50 stores altogether, I believe, mostly in the Midwest and then, in Minnesota and Illinois and whatnot. But, being able to, that I have, there's a parent company, that I can always touch base with, and I don't have to recreate the wheel. There's what I mean? And so I would not say that I'm super passionate about being in the fitness business.
Okay.
I'm passionate about helping people experience freedom, helping people experience transformation, helping people find community, helping people experience what life has for them and live life to the fullest. That's what I'm excited about. And that's why what I'm passionate about. Farrell's is the vehicle.
Yeah,
is
sure.
a vehicle for me right now. And so
well, that leads me to my next question, because you saw me creeping on your Facebook when you walked in doing some research on you. You describe yourself as an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur. Why was entrepreneurship your calling?
That's a great question. I think I've always had this bug in me to do hard things and to want the freedom to be able to do it myself and to be my own boss. I think that's always been something in me that I don't necessarily like being the boss, but I also don't want a boss.
Fair.
That kind of thing.
So I think,
yeah. And then, but I think freedom has been a key motivator for me. And not freedom from to do whatever I want, but
freedom from the 9 to 5.
And not even freedom to be able to do the things that I most want to do.
Sure.
And so like right now, very rarely do I say yes to things that I don't want to do. And I wouldn't say that I'm super successful or anything like that. I'm still on the grind. I'm still
pretty happy. That's probably the
most I think that. I mean, there's challenges for sure, and there's no such thing as a free lunch. You know what I mean? You gotta hustle. You gotta grind. But I'm happy. I'm happy, and I experience a lot of freedom right now. And I think the financial freedom will come. As long as I do the right things and I stay after it. And so I think in entrepreneurship is a means by which I can explore not just creativity but challenging things and doing things that I most want to run after. And so it scratches a lot of itches.
Talk to the person right now that's pounding the bag of Cheetos, watching this podcast, sitting on their couch. Why should I sign up for Farrell's, and what does the process look like after I do?
Yeah, I think you should sign up for Farrell's because you deserve to feel good in your own skin again. And the process is simple. You can go on any one of our sites, fxbbellevue.com or fxblavista.com, and just fill out that little form for information, and our enrollment specialist will reach out to you right away and then help you take the next step, so you don't have to do this alone.
Well, we got to let him get out of here because he's got to go teach a class at 11:30. This has been the Spotlight Omaha podcast, brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing, Pyramid Contractors. Man, this is a ton of fun. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, check out Farrell's today. Get your body shape in the shape it deserves to be and be healthier. Pick your kids up, pick your grandkids up. Check out Farrell's. We'll catch you next time. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe to the channel. It does us a ton of favors. We appreciate it. Thanks for watching today. We'll see you tomorrow.